Colorado's Attorney General Phil Weiser is seeking the Democratic nomination to become Colorado's next governor. Weiser is running against Senator Michael Bennet in the primary. Senior reporter Brett Forrest asked him about his bid for governor, if he'll continue challenging the Trump administration, and how he'd handle a large ICE operation in Colorado like the one in Minneapolis.
You've had, by my last count, 53 lawsuits against the Trump administration. Some Republicans I've spoken to personally and in interview settings have said they feel these lawsuits are kind of painting a target on the back of Colorado. Do you think these lawsuits are a good method to help Colorado, or do you agree that maybe they are painting a target on our backs?
There's two philosophies out there. One philosophy, and Senator Bennet has said a version of this: I want to support the agriculture secretary who he voted for and stands by that, even though she's engaging in harmful activity, thinking it'll somehow benefit Colorado. My view is I'm not going to support or say nice things about people who are hurting us. This Agriculture Secretary, Brooke Rollins, who Senator Bennet voted for and supports, I've had to sue 3 times. Once because she illegally fired Forest Service firefighters. Twice because she tried to take away SNAP benefits from 600,000 Coloradans. All 3 of those lawsuits were successful.
And ultimately, it seems like lawsuits are your best tool to fight this administration on behalf of Colorado. How would you continue that work as governor, since you'll be out of the AG role?
As a governor, it's very important to understand the law and to be working with an attorney general in an effective partnership, like I'm currently working with Governor Polis. We need our lawsuits. We need moral clarity calling out wrongful behavior. I believe only by consistently making clear what is unacceptable will we change the behavior of this administration.
When we think about the ICE situation in Minneapolis, which is drawing down, but it's not unheard of to think something similar could happen in Denver or elsewhere in Colorado, how would you respond as governor?
We learned a lot from how Minnesota responded. They led very peaceful protests saying this is not how we operate in America. The wreaking of havoc, the lawless actions, and the harm done by federal agents is unacceptable and needs to stop. And the way they made that clear, I believe, may mean we won't see more Minneapolises, because they are and they need to pay a political price for what they've done.
And is there a method you would work with the Trump administration to address immigration? And if so, what would that look like?
I want to work with the federal government under the law in fair and sensible ways. There are people who have committed crimes who are dangerous. They are deportable. They should be deported. But the type of fear-inducing and senseless actions being done, including for people who are in the middle of a legal process, is wrong, and it's not okay. This administration has a choice. Are they going to try to operate under the rule of law fairly and according to common sense? And if they do, I will be a partner with them. But if they operate in ways that are lawless, make no sense, I'm going to oppose them.
That was Brett Forrest reporting, and since that interview, AG Weiser has filed another lawsuit against the Trump administration to claw back clean energy grants.